I can't find the comment, but somebody asked me how I got to my current salary. So here's how much I made in each corporate job. My first exposure to recruiting type of roles and my first real corporate job was in for-profit education. I worked for a school called Carrington College, which is a division of DeVry. Y'all, I had no idea how problematic for-profit education was back then, but I worked in career services. My job was to help graduates find jobs, and I made $18 an hour. I was only in this job for about 6 months. Then I went to Robert Half as a dedicated sourcer. So my job here was to pull resumes and schedule interviews all day long. It was incredibly boring, and I made $23 an hour. I did this job for probably, again, about 6 months, and then I was promoted into a full cycle recruiter. As a full cycle recruiter, I was doing temporary placements, means I was placing candidates on contract jobs, and I made about $28 an hour here. I did this job for about 3 months, and then I promoted over to the direct hire side. As a direct hire recruiting manager, this was my first salary job. I made $65,000 in this role, and then you had the opportunity to earn commission based on your placements. My first year as a recruiting manager, I made about $90,000. So that included my $65,000 base plus the bonus commission that I made. So then I promoted into a division director. As a division director, I oversaw the direct hire team for my area, which was a total of 4 recruiters. I didn't get a pay increase with this job, but I did have the opportunity to earn overhead for my team. So I made my $65,000 salary plus any commission for deals that I booked, and then a 5% overhead for my team. My first year as a division director in this role, I made about $120,000. However, I was busting my butt. I probably worked like 60 hours a week in this role. I was in this role for about a year, and then I left Robert Half, and then I went to work for a competitor who recruited me out. I joined a small executive search firm, and as an executive recruiter, this job was terrible. I was so unhappy in this role, but I made $85,000 in base pay plus bonus. So my first year as an executive recruiter, I made about $150,000, but I was incredibly unhappy, dealt with a ton of microaggressions at this company, and I was laid off at the start of the pandemic. After getting laid off, I did some consulting for about 1.5 years. It was the pandemic, no one was hiring, but I had some clients who needed some recruiting help. And so I was able to keep myself afloat doing some consulting for them. And I made about, probably about $85,000 my first year doing this. And then I took a full-time job in between my current job and consulting with a small creative services agency that I actually did not like either. And I made about $85,000 at that creative services agency. But the way that I've been able to continue to grow my salary is to not get too complacent in one place. So you need to be looking at moving about every year, 1.5 years if your current company is not promoting you, in order for you to continue to grow your salary. Don't get too complacent and relying on that 2 to 5%.